goofy entrance number 4.
You should keep your legs up like that and just chill.
I know Chase is getting the best view.
I like what I'm seeing.
All right, I'm starting our 30 minutes. Everybody.
All right, July recap, here we are. And I think we should start things out by introducing these 2 new members of the team.
Yeah, we got the A-team out. Not
This is the A-team.
I don't recognize this guy hardly. I do recognize you. You like to pop in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, Justin is back after a little bit of a
They
hiatus.
kicked me out for a couple months, so now I'm back.
You just keep vacationing.
Oh, yeah.
While we're working hard at the shop.
The last year of my life has been a complete vacation.
I feel like a single mother here, and I speak for the other guys working that we're folding and drying ourselves, or drying and folding ourselves.
That's an expression?
I've heard it before. Like if you're a single parent, anyway. And Chase, you guys know him,
Chase.
our lead engineer, and I think we should start this off with a little background on you.
Okay.
Where you been the last 15 years or so?
Yeah.
I know, these people might not know.
Yeah,
So,
I think I was making car parts for like
15 we were making car parts.
2011? Was that the start of it?
It's one of those years. It's either 2011 or 2012. I know it was December. I can tell you
Really?
that much. It was one of those 2 years, but I think it was 2011. I came into Justin's office looking like a ridiculous human being, and he was like, "Oh, I'll give you a job." And then I spent the next 12 years making Subaru parts for Crib Speed.
And I'm gonna give you my version of the beginning of that story.
okay.
Is we have a mutual friend, Andy,
Oh, yep.
who worked at a shop here in Minnesota, and he said, we're shutting down our shop, they're selling it, or something's happening, and Chase won't have a job. And he's really awesome. He's my buddy. Can you find something for him? And at the time, we didn't, that wasn't on my radar to have another engineer. We didn't have enough money for it at the time. And so I basically told Chase, hey, I want to try to hook you up, help Andy out, get you a job. Apparently you're the bee's knees. We don't have crap for money right now. Can you take a low-paying job for the next 6 months or something, and then we can try to get you up? And that is the starting of the rest is history. That's how we started.
Are you talking about 15 years ago or 15 days ago? Because that's kind of how it feels now. It's history repeating itself,
Same
right?
situation now.
I think, and yeah, that's actually what happened. The best part of that conversation, he said, "Well, what do you need?" And I said, "Well, right now, Andy's paying me $200 a week, so I need at least that for rent."
Yeah,
Justin was like, "I think we can do a little better."
for all
than
you
that.
aspiring automotive engineers out there, that's the benchmark.
That's the bar.
All right, $200 a week.
Well, from a career standpoint, right, though, sometimes you have to take those chances. You took the chance of I know I'm worth way more than this. Justin knows I'm worth way more than this, but this situation is not allowing that to happen. So you were patient, and I think this can turn into something, or I just need some cash, whatever it was. But being patient at the beginning and then seeing what happened. I mean, becoming a staple in the Subaru community, right?
Yeah.
And
that's kind of, with the history repeating itself, it's the ethos we have as the company right now. We're all taking our little hits as the foundational members of this, looking forward 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and seeing what it could become. And so, yeah, we're in debt and we're working overtime and everyone's kind of busting their ass to be here. And there's there's certainly higher paying jobs for engineers out there.
Maybe.
Definitely. I know what engineers get paid. As a marketing guy, I've always been jealous with what the engineers get paid. But truthfully, you guys work twice as hard as the marketing team. And the things that you make our jobs possible at the end. It's all part of one big system. But automotive engineers, especially in the aftermarket, you guys are a rare breed.
Rare. Yeah, that's for sure.
And that maybe you could speak to that to anyone that loves cars and is pursuing engineering. One of the takeaways that I've had from your position is if we ever tried to expand and build the team, finding you a copy and paste is tough. It's tough. So why?
It's like the same thing as, at least in my opinion, if you wanted to be NBA star or you wanted to be a famous actor in the 90s or something. Now you just have to have a super hot YouTube channel, right? But you have to keep really going at it and make a bunch of sacrifices, do whatever you can, make the $200 a week for 2 years trying to really make something happen. But
are you tempted away from automotive with other types of engineering that pay better? Is that the issue?
When I was chilling it was 2 years after I was let go initially, I looked at some other jobs and some recreational ATV performance stuff. and it was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the whole reason. It's like the analogy where with the NBA star, it's like, I love cars. I've loved cars since I was, 2-3 years old, and I still do. And that's really what it is. There's going to be a lot of people that want to do this, and it's like, it's not the most glamorous thing, and your automotive aftermarket engineer is going to be a super rare job in general. Just think of all the companies that you like to buy parts from across the entire world.
Yeah, they might have one of you, but 5 or 6 of me, because the marketing and sales department typically.
And they
is a
might not
bunch
even
of
have
people.
one of Chase too. Because
Yeah.
to my answer of that question for you is just kind of being on this side is engineers seem to be so siloed, right? Like if you just look at overall the engineers in the country and product and design engineers, there's testing engineers, there's QC engineers, there's all a huge amount of different types of engineers. At a small company, what am I asking you to do?
Yeah.
Be all of them.
Just all of them.
Exactly, right? So you have to have that type of person, and why it's so hard to find another Chase or someone like Chase. Chase is that engineers aren't trained to do all of that stuff.
No, you don't learn.
You have to do it on your side as a passion. So we look for those people, which we will need to find another Chase. So if you're watching this,
Yeah, it's a good plug.
Sooner than later, we will need I can wear lots of hats.
Yeah.
I have great initiative. I can think outside the box. I know this platform like none other. So if you are watching this, send me an email, justin@overtakeusa.com. We'll get the conversation started. I don't know if it's 6 months from now or 4 years from now, but we're always looking for these kind of just unicorns, really, is what it is from the engineering
And if
world.
you're a younger guy too, and you're in school, maybe you're going to school right now for specifically automotive engineering, mechanical engineering, or something. Like what I did, I got involved in FSAE, which was the Formula Car team, and I was on that team for, it was like 3 years. And some colleges have that as stuff you can get credit for. We didn't get credit for it. I damn near failed college as a result, because it was a full-time job of just making Formula Car on the side. So that is a great way to get in and get knowledge about parts manufacturing, and then also research and development. And then also just, if you're spending your free time trying to figure out, why does a header work like the way it does, probably have a good shot at caring.
Well, and that's something that I wanted to kind of circle back to with any position in a company like ours. Whatever you want to make your vocation, it all starts at being an enthusiast. And I think if we go back to when we were 14, 15, 16, getting our first cars, I have a picture of me standing on top of my Mitsubishi Lancer OZ when I was 15, when I just bought it before I could drive, and I felt like the tuner god up there. And so that was way before I was thinking about a career and where I would end up. So I think the foundation is you got to be an enthusiast, whether you're a salesperson or engineering or warehouse. Like, as long as you care about the cars, and then you add on top of that, you could have a successful career in kind of a niche market like we have.
Sure. My fun, I was a youngster, didn't know what I was doing. Maybe I went a little more beyond what your average, kid that age does, but I think I was like 19 years old, and I love intake manifold design. I want to know everything about it. I was studying it at Formula Car, and I took the intake manifold of my 240SX and I cut it off to where I thought the runners should be, and then I made a little sheet metal plate and then sheet metal plenum for it, and got it all wrong. Throttle response was terrible. I fixed it. I was like, oh, there's way too much volume. I know what's going on. But I JB welded everything because I couldn't weld, obviously. And that's when I learned, hey, there's a lot of forces in an intake manifold, and it just tears that thing apart.
Hey, Doug, you want to add VB intake manifold to Chase's product?
I was going to say, Subaru intake manifolds would be awesome to do.
Yeah, so we could probably not JB weld them, too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see.
Exactly. So maybe we talk about, because we have in past videos, cars we've owned, currently have, or some of your favorites from the past.
Yeah.
So I know you have a 240 Vert.
Yeah, I have a 92 240 Vert.
Yep, and that's hanging out, low mileage, hanging out. What's the plan with that one?
I haven't driven it in 12 years.
Wow.
It's classic car enthusiast. Everyone knows a car guy who's got a car that does nothing. There's going to be viewers watching. They're like,
Oh, more often than not, the people on here, I'd say 9 out of 10 have a project car or something they haven't gotten to in way too long. But that is actually part of the fun of being an enthusiast too. Is putting a pause on a project and then coming back to it and eventually completing it and then just starting that process all over again. It never ends, really.
Yeah, I picture it as like that's going to be my old man hot rod.
Yeah.
I'll get to
In
it someday.
2078, you're going to be your vert. back to the 2020s.
Yeah.
They'll have meets.
2078. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. You've got your Infinity.
I have the Infinity. It's 03 M45, super rare. It's
beautiful.
Super rare. Thank you. I call it the Whippopotamus.
And it came back to you
Never
after
heard that.
leaving you.
Okay, I had to sell
That's
it
right.
when I moved. My buddy sold it back to me.
Does still have the Volks on it?
Still have Volk GTCs.
Same,
It's
yeah.
the exact car that I would have built in 2003 in high school. if I
Yeah.
could have.
We have very similar automotive tastes, actually, now that I'm putting the pieces together. We
yeah.
both had a white 04 Forester at the same time.
Same time.
I love 240s. The Verts are awesome. The M45 is cool. I have Volk GTCs on one of my cars, so.
Favorite oil for me.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and then just like a lot of Subaru guys went to too. I got a Lexus GX 470.
Yeah.
I don't know why we gravitate towards them, but it's just a good, if you're not driving your Subaru in the winter because maybe you have 8 inches of snow, you might be in the Lexus.
That's right. Well, all cool cars, and maybe at some point we'll feature some of them in the shop.
Well, hang on. Also, I still have the
What else?
original Groom Speed 2012 WRX.
Oh, yeah, that's
Justin
right.
bought,
That's
sold
right.
to me, yeah.
The white hatchback.
Yeah. But it's just doing Subaru things.
That was such a nice daily.
It was, yeah.
At the time, I said, this is my favorite daily car, this GR hatch.
Yeah,
It's got 40,000 miles, 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll need to get that thing up and going, and at the very least, maybe product development off of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But okay, so enough about Chase. Minus, I wanted to highlight some new apparel we have coming. So we've got a couple hats that we're working on. Those will probably be close to out by the time this video is, or at least on the horizon. The thing that will definitely be out is what Chase is wearing. So we got a new T-shirt. You want to stand up, turn around, stick it out,
Drop it down.
drop it down. So
Little
it's
generations.
all the generations, all the coolest generations of Subaru on the back. And it's not just another black shirt. We have our hyper blue, we've got the black, and then maybe hard to tell on camera, but it's dark blue.
It's my new favorite shirt right now.
Yeah, so exactly. If you guys are watching this video, these are either on the website that will be close to it. We're heading to SubiFest California here in just a few days where we're going to be selling them. So we'll throw them up on the website as soon as possible. And then from there, more apparel will be coming. But as I like to say in these videos, those type of purchases, if you're not ready to buy a boost controller, an inlet, or even radiator hoses, apparel and decals are a great way to support us and just to get our brand name out there, get Overtake throughout the country. So if you guys like the shirt, we'll leave a link in the description. You can pick it up and enjoy it. So inlet group buy. So that happened in July. This is a huge deal for us, and especially for you, Justin. I know you're the biggest proponent for group buys.
Yeah.
Just not just for the element of we make some money in a short amount of time, which is great for recouping development costs, but also what it means from the support side of the company. Like how many people come out and really support us in the way that we needed at that time. So group buys, how do they start?
How do they normally start, like from a template standpoint?
No, I'm saying
back.
because way back in the day, the first group buy you did was what year?
Yeah,
About.
it was the cross pipe, the high flow cross pipe, and I don't remember what year it was.
What was the mentality for that? You were selling. You got regular products. Why do group buy?
I wasn't the first one to do them.
Right.
But I think I was one of the first to do it in the way we did it, and that was kind of really make a big deal about it, and really reduce or making it a pretty big discount. And so, and how we did the tranches for like if we get 1 to 10 people, it's this price. 11 to 21, this price. I think that was newish at the time. So, but I kind of was following suit with some other people had done, but we just took it to a whole nother level.
Well, you
with
were
how
definitely the first one to make it famous.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember there was famously, again, double famous, right? There was an article about, hey, this group buy sold $100,000 in intercoolers. And
That's
Yeah.
right, on Jalopnik.
That was that. I feel like that was kind of. I mean, that was peak, and we stayed there for a long time. We were actually on a team ski trip when that
That's right.
when that Jalopnik article came out, and we're like, oh my god, they just did an article on a small company, $100,000 in 3 days on a group buy.
Yeah.
And so, but no, after that first one, I could just see the excitement that generated over just a regular product launch.
And let's talk about why that happens, because I mean, a group buy isn't just like a fire sale, because there is strategy behind it, both for the consumer and for the retailer. In our case, before it makes it out to any dealer network, we invest tons of time and money, and you would know all about this, the engineering process. Like, I guess you can't really put an average on a product of what it costs to create it, but you might have $25, $50, even $100,000 into the development cost of something before you've made a single dollar.
This one took 10 months. So this inlet, just to give people at home an understanding of, we've already made this product before, 10 years ago. We've made a revision, rev bumps to it, right? Yeah. And so we know all the pitfalls, the good things, everything about this product. We've already done it. You've already done it multiple times. And it still started last October. And we just released it here in July, right? The very infancy of, hey, let's make this. You starting step one, which is, all right, market research. What's out there? What's the sentiment about the current offerings? What's working? What's not working? That started last October. Yeah. So 9 months? Yeah. 9, 10 months of work and effort, and not that it was your only project, but it was part of that for 10 months. So
it's your
really
literal
expensive.
Baby. 9 months later, you have the inlet.
Yeah, you didn't even let me name the damn thing.
You could have some previes every once in a while, by the way.
Yeah, let's hurry it up. Let's hurry it up a little bit. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. We should give you naming rights on the product.
No, not at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would end up horribly. Yeah. Leave it to the marketing guys. How about that?
Curtis.
Yeah. We do have a turbo named after you, so you have one thing.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, the general idea is not. People always think, oh, you're just trying to make a bunch of money. That really is not even remotely on my mind. It is nice to try to recoup some of those costs. We are selling at a pretty big discount, so we aren't making much. Right. So it's really not about that. It's what I tell our dealer network is this is a long-term play. We're losing money up front here by offering these huge discounts, but the idea is we believe in this product, and we want to get as many of these items in people's hands as quickly as possible to, I always say, start with a bigger snowball. So what that means is on actual public launch day, we already maybe have 100 people out there that have bought it and are about to get it delivered to their door. And then they can start going, wow, this product is really everything they say. It solves these problems. It performs like this. And so really what we're trying to do, the prime objective is start with a bigger snowball and get that word of mouth snowball starting at a higher rate than we would have. That maybe would have taken 6 months or something. So that's really the number one thing. And two is, it is so exciting. I know it's a lot of work for especially you and me right now and Owen, is that the communication, if it's successful, is crazy. Like the amount of people we talk to in a 2-week period and the amount of media we make. So it's kind of a fire alarms going off, and we're trying to just all do this stuff. But to me, that's fun and exciting. And we're not going to do it every week or whatever, maybe every month or every 2 months, so we can actually maintain it. But just that excitement that it brings for our team, inside the team, and just in the community at large, is really exciting for me and fun, and it's worked. I mean, we've been doing this for almost 20 years, and it's worked. And this particular one was a bit of a unknown for me, honestly, because you're putting yourself out there when you say, hey, if we get 10 people, it's this. If we get 20 people, it's this.
Because if you get 3 people,
nobody, you guys are like, oh, what is up with this brand? Nobody wants to. So
let's talk numbers then.
Yeah.
So people don't think we only got 3.
Okay, so tranches first. Like,
I think we were pretty confident in the 1 to 10.
Yes.
We had a pretty good feeling we're going to sell 10 of these guys, or at least get up there.
Yep.
And then what was it, 11 to 20?
Yep.
And then 21 plus was just open-ended because, well, we may or may not get there. It's a coin flip.
In my head, it was like, okay, if we can kill it, we'll be like in that 20s. Like, that'd be great for a very first group buy, especially for us anyways. It's not a $50 product. It's a $150 or $230 product MSRP, right? And so I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get 20 something. So that was my mentality. But my biggest worry was if we flop, right? Like that is.
Well, we didn't flop.
We don't want to flop. But we did flop. So what did we do?
We got 20 plus signups on the first day.
Yeah, I think it was almost 30 the very first. So we blew through
I guess the next morning it came through and it was 30. So, I mean, signups are great and that's what we want. Ultimately, the sign-up sheet, it depends on who purchases out of that. And the rule of thumb is if you have a sign-up sheet of 100 people, 60, 70% actually follow through and pay up. that's because a lot of people maybe just going on the group to learn more about the product, which is another good aspect of a group buy, is you get to kind of find out more about it, some of the engineering stuff beforehand.
It's not just reading a product page to get your info.
Yeah, or it's not like a sales pitch. We don't just put, hey, here it is, here's the discounted price, like pick it up now. No, we spend a 2-week period educating you on the product, going through some of the development stuff, and then eventually showing you like the beauty pics of it that the marketing guys did before a lot of other people get to see it. Yeah. And so that list grows. There's a lot of looky-loos. Towards the end of it, we start the purchasing process, and that's when we really start looking at the numbers and going, okay, how many have we sold? And so sign-up wise, we had over 70. It was close to 75 sign-ups, which is awesome. Yep. The group itself had like 150 members.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then for purchases, we ended up with, last time I checked, it was 54 paid for inlets. Nice. It's probably, let's just call it 50 plus. And 50 plus paid for inlets.
70 signups is amazing.
When we didn't know we were going to get 10 signups is incredible. And so, we want to thank you guys for doing that. Not only was that awesome to see and the orders coming through and fulfilling those, but then the system only works if you guys get them and are excited about the product, which means you're unboxing it and putting it on social media, you're installing it almost immediately. Most people got theirs, install it right away. You're sending feedback to us, and we get to see that message. And it was overwhelmingly positive. I think one issue was, if there was one issue in this product, it's the best issue we could have had, which was the exterior tape didn't stick to the box very well.
So this is another thing that we get to learn really quickly, right? Like you're saying, is for all the positive things we hear, we get to hear anything that's wrong with it really quickly. And generally, it's not going to be a catastrophic thing. Like we've already went through the testing process and had these on multiple cars. We know it works. We know it fits. But little tweaks like this, like this baggie in here ripped open, or how you package these bolts didn't work, or in this example, somebody going, hey, there was no tape on your package, and realize we used the wrong type of tape on this glossy box. So we get to learn that stuff really quickly. Like it might take us 6 months to learn what we could normally, but we learn in a week, right?
Which this isn't something that I thought about in the past, but it pertains to this. The people that are getting the discount are kind of the quality control outside of our shop. Yeah. So we're almost doing you a discount so you tell us how to improve the subsequent batches that do go out to dealers and that exist in the aftermarket for the next decade plus.
And this tape is a great example, right? And it's kind of that level of quality control we're talking about, is just this minor stuff of this happened in shipping, change this. And so really within a week, we can adjust whatever that thing is. So it's exciting.
Or sometimes someone has like a weirdo mid-year model change car, and they're like, hey, this needs adjustment, and it's
That's
like,
a great
we
point.
could have never known this.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're not necessarily doing the product testing, but that stuff does pop up, and it's very, very helpful.
Right, and in this particular case, it makes me think of the Forester guys with the F820. So they did the testing for us to make sure that it fits on their chassis too. It's made for the WRX, but now we know that it's a dual fitment thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
so two things I want to hit on. Now that we've established the group buy was awesome, it was a success. We couldn't have asked for anything more.
Thank you very much, you guys, for the support. It was insane.
I want to talk about.
I wanted to say too, it's like you had different choices too, and there's parts have been out for 10 years. The fact that there were people chomping at the bit to support us is, I'm very thankful.
It's the story of the last 4 months of our life.
It is. I want to touch on that real quick, just because of a conversation we had this morning where we held up an old company's inlet next to ours, and we had a really hard time not taking a picture and showing how much bigger and better the flow is and just the overall finish of ours now. And we would never do that. We're not here to trash on any other company out there
it's
at
still
all.
Our baby.
It's exactly. And so, but just know that what Justin mentioned earlier, and I've said this a lot, we're last to market, and you can see that as like a glass half empty thing. I see it as a glass half full, because we can take everything on the market, align it, and go, these 3 inlets are missing this, this, and this. We're going to make the 4th one that has all of those things. Here you go. And that's exactly what we've done.
Yeah. And that's what started in 2006 when I started the company, was I felt like I was late to the party at that point. It might sound crazy, but you had Cobb and Perrin were around. Cobb especially was around for a while, even when I started. And it's, you're late to the party, man. And even then, just being able to see what was out there and make it better became a foundational aspect of what we did for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were late to the party for almost everything.
That's kind of.
We are not
we haven't
early
thought
to
of
the
a company
party.
motto. Maybe it's overtake.
We
We're
need
late to the
7 more
party.
of those engineers I talked about earlier.
Fashionably late.
Overtake. Fashionably late to the party.
Yeah. But the
That's a
stuff's
shirt
better.
idea, though, maybe.
I like it.
The things I wanted to touch on were our MAP policy and how it pertains to group buys, and
Okay.
then dealers' reactions to group buys, because that's always been a point of contention.
Yeah, it's-
But we have an explanation for it that isn't even a workaround or like BS.
Yep.
It is an actual explanation.
Yeah.
So let's establish what a MAP policy is. for people that
So
don't.
MAP policy is minimum advertised price. Every company you buy from has one of these set. It basically sets the floor at which companies like Subimods and Import Image Racing and Mach 5 and MAP, what's the lowest they can sell for? That's what the MAP is. And so a common standard in the industry was 10% less. So if you have a $100 product MSRP, MAP might be $90.
Yep.
And that's actually what everybody other than the manufacturer sells at, is that usually that lowest price.
And the idea is so you don't have a race to the bottom.
Yes.
This guy does it in
Set a floor.
99.99, 99.98, and all the way to
Yep.
you know.
But we learned that lesson through the years, trying to manage that policy, that 10% off and people breaking it. And we spent a lot of time policing our MAP system. And so I don't know what year it was we changed to unilateral pricing where MAP and MSRP are the same.
Yeah.
So for a very long time in our history and in Overtake's entire history, MAP equals MSRP. So it's just one price. We're all selling the same price. Dealers can have deals every once in a while. Usually we don't as a manufacturer because we'd rather not compete with them because we want to encourage you guys to buy from the Subimods and the Import Images, et cetera.
It gives us a way to control pricing. So in other words, MAP equaling MSRP. If we're selling a pitch stop mount for 99, Subimods is also selling it for 99. There's, you can buy from either, and everyone benefits. But there's not this fight between.
Yeah,
these
I want you guys to be deciding who you're buying from based off what that company is contributing to our community. Like, are they coming to events? Are they supporting sponsor programs? Are they doing all this stuff that is helping to improve our community?
And are they your go-to shop next door?
Yeah.
Because if you're 2 miles away from Subimods, you can run down there, pick up your Overtake boost controller.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to order it from us.
Maybe they just happen to have some other parts that you like to order from
Maybe.
other companies that you get to support too.
When I ran into this morning, I was answering emails and comments that we had on our social media, and a gentleman tagged us in a post and said that he shops at Mach 5, and when he was in there, he saw our radiator hoses and picked those up, and he implied that he was in there to pick up a different competitor's radiator hoses and grabbed ours instead to support, because Dan at Mach 5 was
Made a sweet display.
sweet display
Sweet.
and just
It
gave
is
us a glowing review, because we've
Yeah.
worked him. He's an awesome guy, and that's an awesome company, and he feels vice versa. And so we've created this ecosystem where, in that particular case, everyone's happy. The customer got his part, Dan got the sale, and then we sold to Dan at some point, and now he's going to replenish that order, and that's how this whole thing works, right? And we know in that situation all the pricing was even, and there's no shenanigans.
Yep.
So that's before we get off group buys, because we've talked about it long enough. We've ran through the whole video. What's the future for group buys? What are we doing? Maybe not necessarily what group buy we're doing next. We don't have to talk about that, but once a month, once a year, what are we envisioning?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about earlier, we don't do it for every product. We do it for a lot of products, but not every product. So in my head, yeah, once a month, maybe 12 of them a year. It is intensive on our end to do it. So I'd like to see one. They're 2 weeks long. Maybe have one for 2 weeks, have a 3-4 week break, start another one. So every month and a half, something like that.
So look out for one in August. I mean, we're doing the July recap right now, but we will have something after SubiFest California. You guys will see it on our social media. So on the topic of inlet, we did do our session at JM Auto. We always love going there. We posted a video about it. I'll put a link in the description for that. Do you want to give us like the cheat sheet on what we experienced there when we went to do dyno testing?
Yeah, we had heard that this product can make really good power, and we're like, no, this is a reliability product, that doesn't make any sense. But then also from a design endpoint, I had put a lot of things into it that would make it flow better. So it was like, well, if it flows better, why wouldn't it perform better? And then so we went there, and it made power. It made an unexpected amount of power.
It really did.
I remember, like, you can see in the video, the first pull that we do, we look over it, and me and Devin, the dyno operator, we're like, you know, it was like a Billy Madison.
I remember watching the video when you guys posted. I'm like, that's a genuine shock.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this thing's making this much power.
Yeah, because
Well, you know, if it lost power, there'd be no video.
Yeah, that's true.
So the fact there's a video.
that's true too. But yeah, it was really, really cool. And like going through it as a part that's just a reliability adder, it was 4% more power.
Yeah.
4% is, and it's like, well, 4%, that's nothing. 4% is crazy for, this is just a little piece of aluminum, and it's consistent.
Well, and also it's part of this full breakfast, as they say, right? In those commercials, it's the inlet to get rid of the issue of the OEM plastic one cracking. Plus, you're going to be doing probably a boost controller on it, which means you're going to be doing a tune, which means you're going to be doing a post-MAF system, panel filter, or a full intake. And then, hey, you might as well throw in a couple of these other upgrades, whatever you're doing. And now you're making significant power with what started as like a preventable maintenance type product.
At a certain point, we had done a dyno pull after we put the boost control solenoid on, and we were up, it was like 32 horsepower at peak.
That's nuts.
And it was more torque than that. And then we're sitting there, and we committed one of the cardinal sins that you do not do at the dyno. And Devin, again, dyno operator, looked at me and said, "What fuel's in this car?" And I talked to Owen, and he's like, "I don't know if this is not. I don't know." And it was like, "All right, tune it down.
Yeah.
Pull it out." So, you know, we still make the occasional mistake, but
Of course.
But if we had known what gas was in there, we would have come out 32 horse, and 32 horse is what, like 25% or something. It's crazy.
It was an awesome session. We couldn't have asked for anything more, and I think that's also what led to the success of the group buy. We were able to post those numbers, and again, take people through the process of how we got there. Okay, since we're way over time, I'm going to run through a bunch of this stuff. Some new product releases. We've got some new windshield banners out, black and crystal white pearl.
Yep.
Those are pretty awesome. We're growing our windshield banner selection, and we will be. I know people have been asking. We used to do like limited runs of them. People are asking for some cool designs and things. So Owen, that's top of mind for him eventually. Taillight pegs, a contentious product. We won't get into it. But let's just we'll dispassionately talk about it.
I'm saying on camera what our internal name of that project is.
Don't do it.
Fine. I guess it'll be a secret.
So the taillight pegs were literally a small project that we took on, and really the basis is the factory pegs. Every time you take off your taillight on VB platforms, they break.
Yeah, and it happened on our VB when we got it. I swapped out the taillights, and that's what started I can't fix this thing because there's no replaceable part. Yeah,
exactly right. The only way to get it is to buy the entire taillight housing. And so we did our version as a machined aluminum piece, or stainless piece, I suppose. And they're just kind of this funny thing because they're so tiny, it's hard to even appreciate them. And so, yes, we call them, the stupid taillight pegs?
Stupid ass taillight. Okay, so.
But this is one of those products that we're going to look back after it's made $100,000 and go, these aren't so stupid anymore.
So to me, this is just another one of those products that sums up who we are, right? Yeah. It is the stupid ass taillight peg, right? But it solves a problem that nobody thought outside the box to do. All we had to do was be wrenching on our own car, have this part fail, and realize, wow, Subaru, this isn't a serviceable part. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Nobody's made this part in 10 years. Yeah. And so that is the core of what we're doing here, is we're trying to find those things that we can make these products better.
Well, in that specific case, my criticism was, well, how many people are doing aftermarket taillights on a VB? Like, yeah, with time, there's going to be plenty more. But then I realized, if you ever have to take off your taillight, even to install like a third brake light, because the wiring goes through, you're going to snap it. You have a 50% chance of it breaking on both lights.
Yeah, and most people don't know they're like these little plastic nail parts, basically, and that gets really brittle over time. So they do break. And then, I don't know if it was Owen or Doug was talking about floppy taillight syndrome. Maybe that was.
Yeah, and it shakes.
Yeah, and so that people just deal with that because now it shakes.
And I'm also a huge proponent of it, or I kind of thought about this after the fact. I have an SG Forester, and every time I pop my taillight off, there's a couple of those pegs, and they tend to break. Yeah. And so when I'm at the junkyard, I pocket a couple of them. And then, so I was calling him stupid, but I was being the stupid one.
We'll keep you out of jail. if you buy ours.
Well, it's just a sick part because it's 100% enthusiast driven. We're never going to make any appreciable amount of money off of it, but we can provide it as something that's going to make your car less suck.
Well, not like Trinity Cocktail, which is what our customer walked in yesterday. That same kind of thing. Yeah, we had a guy yesterday asking, a GD guy.
Yeah, we used to sell transmission cocktails, which was like a la carte mix.
It's Penzo Synchro Mesh and 3 Redline 7590s or something like that. But again, similar to the taillight peg, solved the problem. The problem was people had a hard time sourcing those items together. We priced it so we weren't, I mean, it really was not a business play. It was a let's help the community play. So, and also shout out to the man who had the idea to begin with. On the other side of the desk over there, Doug. This is Doug's first product that was completely innovative. Nobody had made it yet. So,
by the way, Doug, we're not calling you stupid. We're calling the idea stupid. Yeah. But the idea is a good one. So
I think
who's stupid
talk
now?
About our first review too, real quick, that I saw on our website
of the taillight peg.
I wish we could put it up on this video right now. Maybe we can. It was something about whoever thought of this was an absolute it's a Guinness, absolute genius. I don't know if Doug
think if Doug wrote that, he probably made a burner account and wrote it. That's why there's a misspelling.
He actually acted like he was surprised. We haven't talked about it yet. If you knew.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get a banner printed out that we can put up here?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Technically, we haven't released these, but by the time the video is out, rain guards. So those are a product that we just want to put out there, kind of partially for our own sake, because we use rain guards on our personal cars.
They just work.
And they work. They look really cool. And so I'll put a link for those. We don't have to, since we're running out of time, really talk about them a lot. But they're an awesome system, especially if you vape. I hate to say it, but a lot of people that vape.
Or you don't use AC.
Or you don't use it. I don't use AC personally.
I don't either.
Well, I don't use it. I don't use it because it doesn't work.
Or just having the windows down when it's raining, but not
crack a little bit.
Right, it's nice to have it cracked. Yeah.
So they're super cool. We also put out a video on it so you guys can see kind of an overview and an install. So check that out.
Think about taking up smoking again.
Just because of the rain guard. Speaking of video releases, so we put out the GD electronic boost control video. That's been one that we filmed a while back and then just released. So we have all fitments of 3-port boost controller, and now we have all install. And that video has a nice whiteboard explanation where Owen goes through kind of the functionality and where to hook everything up. So it's a good engineering style video for you guys to take a look at. I released my 3rd and final Japan video where I headed down to Liberal Autosport in Yokohama. That was awesome for me, and I met the owner, who I knew from the past, but we exchanged some Overtake stuff, and we officially have some Overtake parts in Japan. A Lavorg STI pulled up, and we were able to throw the battery tie down on, and it's just a fun video, so go check that out. I put T's next race car because I can see it from here, but we'll get that. We'll get that in the next overview video since we're running out of time.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, August events to look forward to. We're going to be at SubiFest California in just a couple of days. JM Auto, who we mentioned 100 times, they're doing an open house on the 16th. So if you're local, head on down there. We're going to be a vendor. Then we're doing the Walzer Subarus and Cold Brews. So that's going to be on the 26th, I believe. And then right now we're ironing out the details for a Rochester meet. That's kind of like a skate park coffee car combination, which sounds like a lot of fun and just a good way for us to support the community down there. So a lot of stuff coming up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to our page. Make sure you like the video, share it around, get your Subaru friends involved, and guess we'll see you 1 month from now. You guys got anything to outro on?
Flat 4 Fest.
We won't be there.
We're not going, but shout out. Because it's happening, isn't it, next month or August?
Yeah, it is. It's the weekend after we come back from SubiFest California, and we'd love to be a part of that. The trouble is there's so many events, and we're such a small team. There will come a time when we're at every major event, and so. But
just a shout out to those guys because they're doing good stuff over there. So Flat 4 Fest in a few weeks out.
Absolutely, and hopefully 2026 it'll align to where we can go down there.
Thanks for joining us, Chase.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
If you guys want to see Chase on more of these, and maybe even do more like heavy engineer talk, we could have a half hour just of you talking about a certain product.
I can go an hour on the inlet and why it was, and why it is what it is.
Well, we've gone an hour. We've probably doubled the time we were supposed to. So thank you guys for sticking around the video. Follow at Overtake USA, and we'll see you later.